What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is a great day. I got the parts that I need right behind me right there. That's the front suspension from a Mustang. And today hopefully we'll be mocking it up and putting it under here to see how it looks, how it fits, and how I'm gonna make it work. Now first things first, right now you can see the struts are still hooked up right now. So I gotta take those off to make it easier to get this underneath, because the main thing right now is getting the subframe attached. The struts are gonna be their own thing in themselves, so I'll worry about that later. Alright, now before I get into this, I want to talk about a little bit how I'm gonna do this and how I'm gonna approach it really. I do remember talking about this before I even had it, so now that I have it, I can compare it to the original subframe and give you an idea of what's going on in my head. So, here is the original subframe from the Honda Prelude. So it bolted up these two, and same thing on the other side. So there was 8 bolts, and as you can see, it kind of went straight across right here. Now that was an issue because the engine and transmission gotta go right there. So what I did was I found a car that already accommodated a V8, and then I just stole their idea and took the subframe out of that. And the reason why I think this one's gonna work is because it's gonna bolt in roughly in the same spot. Of course, I'm gonna have to make adapter plates. That's what I'm gonna be figuring out, but it drops down. As you can see, there's a V right there, so the engine can sit right there. And actually, you can see those are the 302 motor mounts. So those gotta come out. So maybe I'll be doing that as well. But yeah, just to give you guys an idea so we're on the same page, that's kind of what's going on through my head. This may not work. It might not work even remotely close to what I think, but it's worth a shot. I mean, this is how I have fun. And honestly, I think I can make it work. And if not, I'll be that much closer to having a better idea of how to make it work. And for those who don't really know what's going on, so this is the subframe and the suspension from a Mustang. And when I say subframe and suspension, this is what holds the wheels on. So right now, because I've removed mine and it's sitting over there, my front end, there's no wheels, there's nothing, because the wheels were attached over on that subframe. And that's what I'm trying to figure out right now, how to get my Prelude back on 4 wheels. And hopefully that's gonna help us do that. And again, the reason why I have to do this is because originally there was a 4-cylinder engine in this, and it was sideways, and the entire thing fit in the engine bay along with the transmission. So that engine sat right about here and the transmission was right about here. Now my engine is right here, and this thing is going to be running lengthwise with the car. So as you can imagine, if you look at my other videos, when I did a mock-up with this is the firewall right here. That's why I had to cut out that big portion right here to fit the paddle housing and the transmission through. And then the subframe went straight across like this. And hopefully this one's gonna go right underneath the engine like that. And I don't know. I mean, it's a shot in the dark, but we're moving forward and that's all that matters. So anyways, enough talking. I'm gonna start taking things apart. I'm gonna get that subframe underneath the car and then we'll see where we're at. Alright, so when things don't move, you gotta make them move. And I don't have acetylene and oxygen right now, so this is gonna be the best way to do it for me, so yeah. Alright, that worked out pretty good. It's the first time me just using the propane torch instead of being at my father-in-law's place using the torches. But I'll show you guys how that works. So basically right now here, this nut, it's not going to move. So I just get the torches ready. And I heat it up. If you heat it up enough, it'll actually loosen it up. Alright, that might be enough. Who knows? You gotta be quick. worked. Alright guys, so I've removed the two struts and I've also removed the motor mounts from the old engine that this subframe used to hold. And now I'm just going to slide it under the car and start getting an idea of how it's going to look. Well, it's pretty tough to maneuver that thing just with the jack that I have, so I decided I'm just going to use the engine hoist that I have here. And I put a chain through the subframe and I'm just going to lift it up from there. That way it'll lift it up more evenly and it'll be easier to operate. Alright guys, well, there is the Fox body suspension underneath the Prelude. The wheel width looks pretty good, so that looks pretty good compared to the other side. I knew that that was one of the measurements that I had to compare from the Prelude to the Mustang, and it's almost identical, so I can perfect it with different rims and different offset. Not worried about that, it looks good, I'm happy. Subframe is basically where it needs to be. I'm waiting for my father-in-law. He told me that he's going to be bringing a motorcycle jack, which is going to be way better for this. And then we're going to be able to mock up the subframe a lot more properly. And then we're going to have to figure out how to adapt it, make it work so that we can bolt this subframe into the frame of the Prelude. And then once we do that, we're going to be taking the engine, dropping it in again, and making sure that that fits as well. Again, I got Chevy engine, Ford subframe, Honda interior, Honda body. There's 3 different types of vehicles that I'm putting all together to make this work. People say why? I say why not? I'm having fun. This is what was in my head and it's coming to real life. So I'm happy. I'm gonna have one of the only Preludes that have a Chevy V8 in it with a rear wheel drive in the back. That's what makes me happy. That's what gets me excited, and I cannot wait. It may not look like much progress, but for me, I've been waiting for this for so long. Now I just chip away at it slowly. Bit by bit, we just keep getting closer and closer to the end goal, and that's all that we got to do. Take our time with it, and everything will fall in place as it should. Anyways, guys, I'm pretty excited. Hopefully you guys are as well. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe. Every time that I upload, you guys are going to know that the new video is out. And if you want to see the progress on what's going on with this, make sure you keep up with it. Now the ball's rolling. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next time.